The birds you hear overhead are in my back garden in Cashel County, Tipperary, Ireland. And the images you see here are part of 4,000 black and white images of the Japanese artist Sohei Nishino. It's inside the Spectrum magazine section of the Sunday Times magazine. You can see what he does. Puts together images, 4,000 of them. And this exhibit will be on the wall, the diorama maps on the wall at the Michael Hoppin Contemporary in London. Awesome. You can see my images on Flickr.com, but hey, nothing like that. We're looking at the two newspapers that I buy regularly, Sunday Business Post, Sunday Times, in my back garden here in County Tipperary, Ireland. Sunday Business Post, stuff about the general election. It's tagged on Twitter as GE11. Labour and Fianna Fáil are targeting the leader of Fine Gael as his party races ahead in the polls. In fact, it looks like a single party that will control the Irish national government system. Is your man Ed Kenny the man to lead Ireland ahead? Well, you can decide if you want to vote. Fine Gael claims it's going to reduce the RTE share of a TV license. Niamh Connolly has that article. And right now, at the moment, 7% of the TV license fee is ring-fenced under Sound and Vision. It's going to increase to 17% over the next 5 years. I tag it as Create, because if you listen to Sound and Vision programs that are funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland, you're probably hearing our College Live series, Tip FM, on Saturday evenings. We use Sound and Vision money. How the parties fare across the country, that's the number, 38% liking Fine Gael. But do they like the man at the top? And is he the man capable enough to lead Ireland into a seriously challenging time in the country's history? This is pretty interesting. Under the technology section of the Sunday Business Post, in the column called Tech Week, 3 different articles that basically deal with social media. There's one here, Appeal for the Better Use of Social Media, from Crowd to Community, observing that traditional management is obsolete for today's knowledge-based industries. Aisling Foley Marketing claims that Twitter is the talk of the business world. Twitter's doubled its communication tool, and Storyful, crowdsourcing and using Twitter as a tool push out stories, got no money, more financing. We follow all this stuff under a tag called Tip SM. That's Tipperary social media. We teach social media to third-level students. Meaningless promises of the politics of the absurd is Tom McGurk's point in the comments section. In the general election theme, it's a glamorized European Council is all that Ireland really is now. Local officials holding national office. And he raises an interesting point. You know, on the doorsteps, when people are out there getting pitched to vote, do you really hear people arguing that Ireland's economic survival and the Euro's survival are interlinked? You don't hear that article, that kind of argument. It is something the common citizen needs to think about. Nokia needs to think about its future. Adrian Weckler gives a really good piece here on Twitter. Nocksoft is the tag. Stephen Elip, Stephen Ballmer together on stage. That's the E7. That's the N8, not the E8. Got that in my pocket. I'm going to buy that myself. Might be the last Symbian device I ever buy. Adrian points out, he's Adrian Weckler on Twitter, that Twitter's 10 billion bubble tag. What the headline basically means is there might be a little bit of a bubble going on in technology. Although the fact is, Twitter is an essential part of the daily news cycle. People will follow tweets and follow stuff as it emerges in the Twitter sphere because people talk about stuff that people are interested in. It's good news for Dublin. Twitter does get that big funding and is taken to an IPO. Dublin is being hailed as a possible headquarters for Twitter. The point is, you can actually use Twitter to pick out stuff like, well, Sunday Times magazine. So like Twitter would tell you that you'd want the iPad app here for the Sunday Times because Hef and the curvaceous 20-somethings that follow him around his mansion look good in the iPad app. You'd also find out that Twitter would tell you what kind of apps to get. Now this is called the apps list in Sunday Times, but if you follow people that have apps or have an Android phone, they're likely to give you really good advice. Jennifer Connell points out, though, a lot of privacy concerns here. She thinks laws should exist to enshrine the right to be forgotten. Right, I do agree with that. A way to pull the eject lever and vaporize everything you have in any kind of a social network. I think it's really, really important. Inside the Sunday Times, recovery is going to cost more than you think, and when it goes. Some stuff about this crash airline down in Cork. You can look up my blog, www.insideview.ie. Look up the word flying, see what my point of view about it is. India Night gives points of interest about illiteracy. If you follow the person, ICT EDU, you'll be into the ICT for Education event that we have in May. Good stuff here. Help your kids by reading to them at home, and don't undersell blogging as a tool that kids could use, 5 and 6-year-olds can use, to enhance their communication skills as well as their technical capabilities. More revolutions like the one in Egypt will be fueled by Twitter, says the editorial section of the Sunday Times. Tip SM, remember that tag? Is where you can follow some students cross-talk about that. The escapologists, or who Matt Cooper fingers in his column, the reality is next Taoiseach is going to need a whole new set of skills. GE11 will tag that on Twitter, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of people know this already, lots of the national politicians, people sitting in the national government in Ireland, simply aren't up for the task ahead. Finally, new businesses. This is a really helpful little pullout from the Sunday Business Post. Helping Hand for New Businesses is what it's called. Caroline Allen wrote the piece, and there's some good stuff here. Good stuff about where you might go. County Boards, Enterprise, Ireland, Foss, Craft Council, to get a hands up, a hand up for your startup. I followed the conversation on Irish Debate. Like, here's a short outtake that I think is really interesting about the discussion going on concerning startups in Ireland.
Welcome to IrishDebate.com. My name is Frank Hannigan, and I'm here with Ron Immink, and we're going to talk today about whether or not Ireland has lost its mojo. Ron, you spoke yesterday in Limerick quite passionately about how well Ireland was doing, but you did say you felt that we had lost our mojo. Is that? Tell me why you think that.
Well, I'm not sure why I think we have lost our mojo. Well, there sort of seems to be two Irelands. One is the Ireland that's in the press, and if you open up any of the newspapers on a Sunday, the inclination is to drive to the cliffs of Moher and jump. But then when I'm on Small Business Can, when I'm with the Business Achievers Awards, when I watch the IBAC video, when I watch the Bort Vulture video, there's lots of good stories.
You can find out more about Irish Debate, IrishDebate.com. More about what I'm talking about on Twitter.com/topgold, or my photos. They're on Flickr.com/photos/Irish Highs. Thanks a million for listening. Check me out next week for another Sunday News outtake from Ireland. Bye for now.